Yesterday's game was fun.
All the games are fun, Theo. Every single game is fun.
This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
It is. Boom, boom. Good morning. Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Monday? Happy Monday, March 17th. Welcome in to the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. You guys are checking us out on the Spotify, the Apple Podcast, the Amazon. You're listening to us right there. You're watching us on the Facebook, YouTubes, and the Twitters at Joe Gaither 6 or on the Bama Central YouTube channel, on the Bama Central Facebook channel. We're back live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, and we found Theo Fernandez. He has been traveling the world, enjoying spring break. He's been going from Panama to Mexico to Argentina to Brazil to South Africa to Germany to everywhere. Timbuktu, Mars. But now he's back in Tuscaloosa. And so we're here in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios just off of McFarland Boulevard to talk about basketball. We're going to talk about the SEC tournament. We're going to conclude the SEC tournament because we did not have a show on Sunday. We did a little short show on Saturday, thanks to everybody who downloaded that. We're going to basically wrap the SEC tournament at the start. Then we're going to turn all our eyes on March Madness. So we encourage you to call Derek Daniel for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. We're excited to talk about the weekend. I'm excited to be back in town. I hope you all had a safe weekend with all the storms. If you did have storm damage, you need to make sure that you're properly insured. Derek Daniel can do that with the right homeowner's insurance. Call him at 205-758-3391. I know over the weekend, Derek had the phone calls from this office forwarded to his cell phone. That's how dedicated he is. It was through the weekend. Obviously, storms don't care what time of day it is, if it's on the clock or off the clock. Derek Daniel was basically on the clock the entire weekend, taking calls, making claims, making sure that your homes were properly protected, and that when disaster struck for those homes in his coverage department, he helped them out and he got them basically the proper coverage ASAP. So you want to make sure that you're calling Derek Daniel and his team at 205-758-3391. All right, Theo, here's the plan. First, everybody's going to follow Theo Fernandez __ on the Twitter machine. That's the first thing you're going to do. The second thing, we're going to play the voicemails that we had over the weekend. We've got a collection of voicemails, so we're going to start right there. The first thing you do when you get back home, well, Theo, you don't do this because you're way too young, but when I was a kid, there was a little recorder box right next to the phone, and as soon as you got home, the recorder box is bleeping red light, and you click it, beep, and you take the voicemails. That's what you do the first thing you get home, so that's the first thing we're going to do in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. We took a handful of voicemails over the weekend at the SEC tournament. We didn't play them on Saturday because I did the show on my phone. I really couldn't figure out how the technology all got the video files into the phone, that sort of thing. So let's go to the voicemails. Then we'll wrap the SEC tournament. Then we'll look at the NCAA tournament bracket, and then we'll go home. That's what we're going to do today. We encourage you to play March Madness with us. We've got links all out on all of our social medias. Theo just tweeted his own, Theo Fernandez _. So you can put your knowledge to the test. You can make us look like chumps, or you can prove yourself to be the chump right here on our own bracket challenges. You can see it at Joe Gaither 6, at Theo Fernandez _, at BamaCentral. It's all over the BamaCentral sites. You can find the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral bracket challenge. Thanks to Mason Woods for putting that together. Theo, it's been 2 weeks, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. It has been 2 weeks. I had to interrupt the world tour to come back here to Tuscaloosa. Can't miss a second straight appearance on the Joe Gaither Show. And at the end of the day, this is the greatest week of the year. You can argue for any other of the 51 weeks, and you are wrong. This is the greatest week of the year. This is what I live for. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are just the perfect sports days. I couldn't be more excited, even though I'll be working other sporting events during those games because baseball and softball don't stop for March Madness, but I will be watching as much college basketball as I can, as I always try to do. Could not be more excited for this week of action we have coming up.
You guys just had spring break.
Yes, we did.
Do you need to take Stuart Bell is retiring as the president. Congratulations for that. You need to take a complaint to the University of Alabama right now, today. You need to say, hey, guys, y'all messed up the dates for spring break. The spring break dates are supposed to be the week of the first round of the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. So that I cannot be conflicted in class. I cannot be conflicted at work. I can be on the beach. I can be in my parents' lake house. I can be doing whatever, watching games. That was really what solidified March Madness for me, Theo, was a young middle schooler, Joe Gaither, with teacher parents, all the spring breaks colliding on the same week, usually being that first weekend. And, mom and dad doing their own thing, but Joe in the basement watching basketball games, just doing nothing. Be like, oh, my gosh, Mateen Cleaves rolls his ankle again, but leads Michigan State to a Final Four. Mateen Cleaves, I love you so much. You moved a young child. So I'll ask you, what is your young Theo Fernandez tournament memory that says, it doesn't matter if I'm a fan of this team or not, this story, this moment? Are you a Sister Jean guy? Is there what's the couple of draws for Theo, young Theo? What sucked you into the NCAA tournament?
Well, I've been in on this for so long, but the one moment that really turned this into a thing where
my one
shining moment. Lob City, FGCU.
That's a great one.
I'm 7 years old and I'm watching this random school from Florida go out, and I didn't even fully understand what was going on, but my dad is losing his mind over a 15 seed in the Sweet 16. And in that same tournament, I see Wichita State go to the Final Four. Louisville just can't miss a shot, although I did get traumatized by Kevin Ware's injury. That whole run was just that whole tournament was so special to me. And then every year that fandom just builds and builds and builds. And I think the one where that one year that really turned it from I love this to no, I'm obsessed with this was the Loyola Chicago year. You also had UMBC. You just had so much incredible stuff happen. And man, I love March. I live for March. And you talk about how cool it was having it for spring break. In elementary, middle, high school, watching those first couple games at school with all your friends, and you're all trying to sneak it. You're all trying to make sure the teacher doesn't know what you're doing. That was incredible. That was probably when I stopped becoming a good student because you're not focused on school, you're focused on the games. But now that I'm in college, I absolutely do wish it was during spring break. Me and my friends were talking about it because we would watch so much more basketball if we didn't have to worry about classes.
Ain't nobody going to class on Thursday, Friday. Come on, UA. What are we doing here? Yeah. We're taking sick days is what we're doing. Nobody's going to class on Tuesday night, first four in Dayton. It's going to be a lot of fun this year, and I cannot wait to get into it. So let's go right to the voicemail line. You guys called us over the weekend, over the SEC tournament, 205-462-7340, extension 800. Let's hear what you guys had to say, and then we'll wrap up. An okay SEC tournament. I don't want to say great SEC. It wasn't great. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible either. It wasn't on either of the opposite. It wasn't a 0 and it wasn't 100. It was about a 55 or so. So we'll talk about the SEC tournament, and then we'll set up March Madness. So first to the voicemail line.
Man, would you look at this? Alabama in the first half against Kentucky, 2 for 13 from the 3-point line, and they lead by 7.
Ooh.
Man, must be a tough day for the crowd that says Alabama just lives and dies by the 3, isn't it? Man, I'll tell you what, there is so much LeBaron, there is so much John Wall in LeBaron Philon. It's not even funny. He has right now 10 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. Dude's playing the best basketball of his life right now and needs to continue to do that if Alabama wants to win this game and win the SEC tournament.
Keep it going right here. Number 2.
Phylon.
Yes!
Man, I wish I knew the joke. Maybe you can explain it to me. But LeBaron Phylon was the best player.
Whoa. All right, we'll pause our voicemail right here. First off, thanks for calling, Hunter. Are you do you know who Dave Chappelle is, Theo?
I do.
All right. We're 1 for 1. Are you old enough to have seen Chappelle Show clips, or have you watched it on your streaming services, anything like that?
I've encountered a solid amount of Chappelle Show clips on YouTube, but
Sure.
I definitely have not seen all of them.
Do you get it? Do you like it? Do you think it's funny?
I do not get the joke.
You don't get any of Chappelle's Show? You don't think it's funny?
Oh, no, I thought you were...
Okay, all right.
Whatever.
So we're setting up the joke. We're moving to the
I
skit.
very much like the Chappelle Show clips that I've seen.
All right, perfect. So the skit, the Chappelle Show skit that this is from, and I cannot get it out of my head every time LeBaron does something. Phylon. It used to be a show, so it's a parody skit, right? There used to be a television show. Was it called Making the Band? Maybe it was called something like that. I think it's called Making the Band, and it was P. Diddy. P. Diddy basically taking some up and coming artists. Oh, let's select. You're gonna be in the group. You're gonna be in the group. You're gonna be in the group. You're gonna be that sort of thing.
I don't want to be in P. Diddy's group.
Yeah, I don't know if these contestants look back on this show fondly or not, but that was the premise of the show. Well, Chappelle Show's making fun of this show in the skit, and basically Chappelle Show he does the Eddie Murphy. He does the Eddie Murphy trick where he's playing all the characters, right? But they're all different. Well, one of them, his name is Dylan. I'm a rapper from Jamaica, Dylan. Like he's got an accent, that sort of thing. But they all, you know how they do on reality shows, they go into the confession room and they have like the little cut, right? And it's just like, oh, when so and so said this, I was, it's like their unfiltered thoughts. Well, the clip goes, he goes into the confession room and he goes, the 5 greatest rappers of all time. Dylan. And so now whenever like I see LeBaron Phylon, it's just the 5 greatest players of all time. Phylon. Can we please have 6 more games of LeBaron Phylon?
That's all we're asking.
Not 1, not 5. I need all 6 games of LeBaron Phylon. Continue, Hunter.
Tonight. Man, I wish I knew the joke. Maybe you can explain it to me.
Oh, we got to go.
Game and win the SEC tournament. Phylon. Man, I wish I knew the joke. Maybe you can explain it to me. But LeBaron Phylon was the best player on the court tonight, and that is why Alabama beats Kentucky for the 3rd time this year, for the first time ever in school history. Even when Mark Sears has an off game, it doesn't matter. You still are able to win by 30 points. He didn't play his best game tonight, and I need to see more of the same from Jaron Stevenson. 16 points, 4 rebounds. If he keeps shooting like that, Alabama will be unbeatable. Great play from the front court tonight. Other than him, I know he didn't stand out on the stat sheet, but love where this team's headed, and hopefully we can keep this momentum rolling tomorrow.
Hello. Hey, so game against Kentucky last night, 99-70. Excellent job in the second half. If you go back to look at the stats all across the board, just the amount of defense that they played, shutting them down. Points and paint, 46 points. Big men doing it good. Fast break points, 19-3. So our guards are up there on top. Not looking at the 3-point shooting, there wasn't great shooting, but obviously we were having a lot of different outcomes in the paint, and the guards taking off and doing other things. And the rebounds, 34-41. I really think our big men were a big difference in the game. Especially coming in the second half, all of them, they had a big difference. And then to win that big in the SEC tournament, especially as close as that game has been against Kentucky, but that also shows Alabama just how good they could be and run all the way back to the Final Four plus winning Natty. You're looking at a good second half. First half was a little slower start, trying to figure it all out. I say slower, but they were still winning. But the second half turned it up, did a lot of good things, a lot of steals, excellent assists. Even when the 3 points wasn't falling, they were getting points from other places than the people. And I really liked that everybody contributed on the team. They didn't have one really star player. Ceylon did. He was one of the top scorers, but there wasn't like a dominant person scoring. Everybody contributed. I mean, you have a 13 point, 16 point, 13 point, 13, 21, 7, 8, 6. There was just a lot of people scoring points, and that's what we need to keep going and win tomorrow, especially against our next opponent. All right, have a good day. Talk to you later. See you.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Pretty good first half for the most part. The only thing that I would complain about is that if we're going to win this game, Mark Sears 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 of 8 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3, only 1 of 2 from the line. And if he doesn't play better, then we will lose this game. No ifs, ands, buts about it. We also need Grant to be okay. Maybe shoot him up with some horse tranquilizer or something like that. I'm not sure, but we're in a good spot right now. I like where we're at. Hopefully we can continue this, keep playing defense the way we are. Don't let them have open threes. Finally made adjustments to hedging ball screens. Let's go win this game, and let's beat these Florida Gators.
I don't want to talk about the rest of it. I think there's one more.
Man, that sucked. But not really surprised. Tip your hat to Florida. They're a nightmare matchup for us. And it kind of adds on to it when you get guys like Elijah Martin making fadeaway mid-ranges.
Yeah.
Thomas Howell making spinning fall-away layups, and Jimmy Lou's banking mid-range shots from the free throw line off the glass. I mean, they're ruthless defensively. They're tenacious on the offensive glass. They got skilled bigs, really big guards who are physical and can guard the ball really well. I mean, this isn't a knock on Alabama at all. I think just Florida's the best team in the country right now, and that was on display today. But we got to bounce back. We got to get healthy. Hopefully Grant's all right. Mark's got to play better. I said that earlier, but we're fine. Just regroup, get ready for the tournament.
Boom! That's the voicemails from the weekend. And we thank everybody for joining us. Sounds like that was a little bit of Hunter Brantley, a little bit of Troy Williams as well on the call. Thanks everybody for joining us at 205-462-7340, extension 800. We're taking your voicemails on anything that's on your mind. Right now, the things that are on our mind are the NCAA tournament, are Alabama baseball's dominant start. We want to include that somewhere in our show today. Talk about Alabama baseball beating the brakes off of Texas A&M. They're out there at College Station.
They're up to number 12 in the poll. They just released D1 baseball's poll. Number 12, and A&M drops out of the rankings, which, man, they've had a nightmare season to start so far.
Alabama has 1 loss, right?
Yes.
Oh,
1 loss.
So if you want to talk baseball, you can jump in on that voicemail line, 205-462-7340, extension 800. Are you going to Sewell Thomas Stadium to see Coach Rob Vaughn's Wolfpack? I love that as the attitude in the dugout. We're the Wolfpack. We're gonna attack you 1 through 9. Everybody's gonna get a piece, and you're gonna be decimated by the end of the day.
And everybody is getting a piece right now too. It's just amazing. Look, I thought that this team had the chance to be pretty good. I thought that Justin LeBron would show that he's a pretty special player. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. This man has. I'm not exaggerating when I say that this man could really legitimately be a top 3 pick in the MLB draft. He is reaching that level right now.
I need to get Andy Phillips on here. Do you know Andy Phillips, career home run leader for the University of Alabama? We need to get him on here just to ask him if he's sweating a little bit. Your records. Andy is great, and Andy is awesome. I mean, I'm teasing. He would not be sweating at all. I'm sure Andy would be cheering for and is cheering for Justin LeBron to break his records. But he's close to it. He's pushing up on some Andy Phillips records right now. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to keep up with this baseball team, aren't they? They're playing the Tennessee Vols this weekend, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Theo, I did a bad thing this weekend.
What did he do?
Mother, don't turn this off. Mother, today's show ends for you right here. I love you, Mother, but today's show ends for you right here. On Saturday, we get to the arena at a good time. Great. It was a great experience with Katie Wyndham and Hunter DeCiver. On Saturday, we get to the arena for the first semifinal, and I'm thinking, could a black hole swallow us all and both these programs just disappear? I'm thinking to myself, we're going to the arena, and I'm thinking, I don't want to see either of these teams win. I don't want to see them win. I don't want to see them win. I want to see them both lose. I've got real personal disdain for different reasons for both. And I'm thinking, I don't know who I want to see on Sunday. Well, I get to the arena, we get settled in, and like we're not sitting in media because we're not working quite yet. We're in basically, look, it was, in my opinion, great accommodations this weekend for the media at Bridgestone Arena. Basically, if I had that green lanyard on, they let me go pretty much wherever I wanted to, sit wherever I wanted to, and I say thank you for how you treated us. It was great. So I just sat down at the first random best seat that I could find. So I'm about I'm about 3 rows on the floor right behind everybody during this first semifinal game. And the first thing I think, Theo, is I don't know who I want to win. But I am 1 second with my butt cheeks on the chair, thinking, "Oh no, bleep those mother! Get out of here, Bruce Pearl! Get out of here!" And I may or may not have spent some time cheering for Tennessee with some Tennessee fans.
Man, you see, I fully came in wanting Auburn. I wanted no part of another game with Tennessee. And I think we need that decider, right? We can't end it at 1-1 for the season.
You know that decider's coming.
I sure hope so.
No, you don't hope so. Not on the championship Monday. Have you looked at the bracket? If that decider comes, it's for the national championship. This entire state would burn to the ground.
You're telling me you don't want to see that?
No, I like my home. I like my home standing. I like Tuscaloosa standing. I like the infrastructure here. I like, not the water lines broken. I like not downtown Tuscaloosa on fire. I like to not go onto Twitter. Look, you got a little fun disdain for Auburn, but I don't want to see the Auburn trees burn down. I don't want to see, whatever, Tumors Lemonade or whatever, Corner Store Lemonade. I think that's a staple of Auburn. It does not need to burn down. If those two programs met in the national championship, it would do irreparable damage to the state of Alabama.
Yeah, but someone's going to cut down the nets. That's what I want to see. I want to see that championship trophy.
Irreparable damage.
I want to see that trophy. Little collateral damage along the way. Got to live with that, right?
But what if it's us? It's fine if it's them, right? Us versus them, right? No, I don't even want to risk it being us. For this, because yes, the joy that you get beating Auburn for a national championship, like I would probably die.
Look, man, all I'm gonna say, I love wildlife. I love nature. I'll sacrifice a couple trees for a trophy.
Sometimes you get eaten in nature a little bit. Okay.
I'll sacrifice a couple trees to bring home a trophy.
All right. So I'm cheering for Tennessee right there, and they get to semifinal. They get on through. We're not here to talk about Tennessee and Auburn. I just wanted to have a mission right there. How do you want to contextualize this Alabama performance? You beat the brakes off of a hapless Kentucky team. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah. I wouldn't go hapless.
No Lamont Butler. You got
but they've been like that for so long. They've been so unhealthy for so long that these guys, like the Chandlers, and like they know how to play at this point. They've been putting forth some solid. Owe's insane.
Otega Owe goes out of the game with a bloody mouth.
Yeah.
for 8-10 minutes or whatever, and then you got was it Reed? Is that the kid's name? Who busted his shooting hand? Might be out for the tournament in the middle of the game. If you listen to the show Saturday, we were on a high. We were rolling into the Florida game, but now I want to contextualize it. I think you look at both the games, and I wonder if Friday night's great performance is more about Kentucky being playing with one hand behind his back than anything else.
I think Hunter summed it up perfect with the first 3 words of his voice. Damn, that sucked. That's all he needed to say. We could have cut it off right there because I think that sums it up. Look, Todd Golden's squad is incredible. Mm-hmm. I think the Gators are very likely.
That's the best team in the country.
I think so. I don't know if I'm going to pick them to win the Natty, but they are right now the best team in the country. The only one that I think I might put above them is Duke.
Why are you putting Duke ahead of them? Because I've barely watched Duke. I know Cooper Flagg is that dude, but Cooper ended up.
Con Knuppel is insane. John Shire is a great coach. I think that this is
Florida's deeper than them, right?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think Duke's star power is just, man, Cooper Flagg is so good.
Is he going to be healthy?
Is he? That's the question of the day, isn't it? That's the question of the week.
Yeah, I don't.
Now, let's appreciate something that the committee did, right?
What part do you want to commit? Are you done with the SEC tournament? Are you done? Are we? We're,
okay, all right. Let's not do this.
I know you're excited. Easy there.
I was going to say something. We'll get into this later because I have something very interesting to bring up about Duke later in the show now.
All right, make sure you write it down real quick.
Oh, I will.
And so
I've got it right here in my mind because this has been pressing me for a little while at this point.
But okay, so I'm worried you're going to lose it. Do you want to get it out?
I will not lose it. This is one of my biggest pressing takes that I want to give on the show. I will not. This show does not end until I give this take.
All right, make sure you don't lose it.
I will not lose it.
All right, so here we go. I don't know that the Kentucky win was worth that much anymore. Now contextualizing it, looking back, I think that maybe it was a little bit of an emotional high that we were riding on Friday night, Saturday morning, and then you get back to reality on Saturday. And look, maybe this is my foolishness, but Saturday, I don't even care that you lost to Florida for this reason. Hunter brings it up in his voicemail. You switch up the defense in the Florida game. If Grant does not get hurt, I think you at least play that game to the end of the game.
We don't roll over the way they did.
Exactly. Grant, you're Nate Oates. You made me so happy and so mad on Saturday in so many different ways. But the happiness, we'll start there. I'm sitting there, I'm like, the first few possessions, I'm expecting, let's see this dang drop coverage and watch Walter Clayton Jr. just drop it in from the 3-point line, XYZ ABC, watch Thomas Howell, stop on the roll, get the go screen, that sort of thing. Alabama came out hedging screens. Oh, loved it. But who was hedging the screens? Grant Nelson's hedging the screen, jumping the screens, We're not in drop coverage. Grant Nelson's jumping out in the screens, and then we're getting decent, not great, but decent recovery. They looked like a team that had been playing drop coverage all year, that had been changing their defense to where, in the sense of where, to me, this is sort of working, but there's still some kinks here. There's still some, we're overcoming. We're learning this on the fly is what it kind of looked like. We're trying to working this out and they did fairly well with it. With a strategy that they don't often employ, right? We've been playing drop coverage all year long. Well, now we're going to hedge the screens tonight because we can't let Florida absolutely decimate us. And first half goes fairly well. Grant goes out with 3 minutes to go. You end up losing the half, 45-47. My opinion, you're up one, you're down one. It was like a 1-point game when Grant goes out with 3 minutes left in the half. I'm of the opinion that the fellas are sitting there through that first half like, all right, this is actually working a little bit. This is actually kind of, we're hanging in here. They are not running it right through us. What is the coach saying? Running through your butt like bleep through a tin horn? They were not doing that in the first half. I mean, it was not just ironclad defense, but it wasn't just like Olay either, like it was in Coleman Coliseum. Grant goes out, and I think it absolutely deflated everything. I don't want to say that the team quit, but I'm going to say that the team quit.
That's where things fell apart. I think it's, you know, you want it to be this whole complex thing. You want to try to evaluate all the problems, but I really think there's one easy answer to why that ended the way it did. You need Grant. We need him to be healthy.
Especially when you're experimenting, you're rolling the dice on a different defensive plan, and he's the linchpin to it. He's the key to the defensive plan.
And I love the fact that we did do that.
Yes.
Absolutely love it.
Yes.
It's awesome. But come on, it's obviously, it's pretty contingent on this one guy being in the game.
And then once the plan blows up in your face, Nate Oates. So okay, that's the positive for the. I'm very happy with you, Nate. For let's roll the dice. Let's try to do something a little different. But then you'd really disappointed me because, okay, Grant is out and the fella is clearly, dip down. The fella's clearly, our engagement is much lower here. Our want to is much lower. They go on a 17-2 run to open the half, essentially. And how many times can you call a timeout? How many opportunities can you call a timeout? Doesn't do it. He gets asked in postgame. I'm going to be critical right here, and this might get me in trouble.
Okay.
He gets asked in postgame about why did you not call a timeout? And he tells my friend Tony Sakalis, "What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Did you call timeout to tell him to play harder? Call timeout to tell him that they needed to dig in and give more effort?" Now I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not reading the quote, but essentially he said, we had just talked about that at halftime. We had just talked about that in the last break. We had just talked about playing harder. All right, coach. The next game that I coach will be my first. The next whistle that I blow in a practice will be my first. So that's context here. For how genius I think you are, and I do think you are a genius. I think you're a basketball savant. For how talented you are as a basketball coach, I have to often remind myself, he is still a former high school coach. Because to me, hold on, Theo, I'm going to let you get it all out right here. I'm going to back up and sip some coffee. I'm going to let you get it all out. For me, you hear the 17-2 run and you hear coach say, I didn't want to call timeout to tell them to play harder because they needed to figure out. He says they needed to figure out if they wanted to be the hardest, most toughest, most grittiest. He always goes in this little rant, the hardest, most toughest, grittiest playing team ever. They needed to figure it out for themselves. And I understand you're letting your team sink or swim out here. I get that. You're at the level. You're at the place where these young men have to figure out if they want to sink or swim. It's the SEC tournament, and this is the place where you can teach them a lesson here, because if you go home tonight, it's not that big a deal. You got the next tournament. I get that. That's the stubbornness in you. You want to let your team sink or swim. They got to be mature. They got to dig themselves out of the hole. But coach, they're not pros. They're not NBA players. They're not adults. Yes, they're young men. Yes, they're all voting age. Yes, most of them can legally buy alcohol, but they're not. Look, I'm not an adult right now. Goodness gracious. And they're all younger than me. So they are not mature. They need your help. What you need, you don't call timeout to tell them to play harder. You don't call timeout to say, hey, guys, we need you to try. You call timeout so that Florida sits their gum butts on the bench for 2.5 minutes. So Walter Clayton Jr., that hot hand can just cool down just a second. Walter Clayton can just cool down just, and even if all you do in the timeout locker room, in the timeout huddle, is stare at the team in silence, and then send them back out there, you have broken their momentum for just a half second. That's why you call timeout. Like, I totally get the frustration of, they got to figure it out if they want to play hard and try hard. But Florida is decimating you, running right through. Like, the fellas did not replug in at halftime. Apparently, this is my assumption. They go in the locker room. Hey, Grant, how are we doing? Not so hot. We're still figuring it out. Don't know if he's going to go. And that obviously goes. The locker room's tiny. Everyone gets the news right then at the same time. And the guys are like, oh crap, we've been playing hedge coverage. Who can play? Can Cliff hedge a screen? Can Jaron hedge a screen? Can Aiden hedge a screen? maybe, no. And so they're thinking, well, this ain't going to go so well. And they never replugged it. Call timeout. Sit Florida on the bench for 2 seconds. Please make Todd Golden say something to his team. Because Todd Golden didn't have to say anything. Make Todd Golden say, oh, guys, great job. Like, give him some false confidence. Make him say anything to his team to change a formula. Like, just really frustrating. So concluding and turning to you, Theo, it really made me feel like for how much I do think Coach Oates is a modern coach, and I do think he is pretty open to, hey, let me take Ryan Panone's advice. Let me take Brian Adams' advice. Let me take Preston Murphy's advice. All his former assistants that have come and gone. I think he's pretty open to advice. No, but just his answer right there. Oh, what do you want me to do? Call a timeout to tell him to play hard? No, coach. I want you to call timeout so that the other team sits their butt on the bench.
That just doesn't work. I don't think.
No? Go ahead. It's your time. Go ahead.
A team calls a timeout in that situation, it really isn't about stopping the momentum when you're up against a team like Florida, because you know that Todd Golden is such a great coach as far as the adjustments that he makes. You call a timeout with the intention of slowing them down, and guess what? Golden has a whole new set of things for them to do. You talk about these guys not being pros. You talk about how they need the coaching. You're right about that. You're fully correct. And I think there's probably a lot to criticize. If there's somewhere to criticize Oates, it's about the lack of adjustments at halftime. The lack of, we see Grant's out. Yeah, you have to make a change. I fully agree with that. But you have all these fifth-year seniors, all this leadership for a reason. You're supposed to have guys that are more experienced than just about any team you face, that can make their own adjustments, that can get out of a slump, that can end a drought more than the other teams. Nate Oates there, he is banking on his guys finding a way, using their experience, using their maturity relative to their opponents to their advantage. That's a bet that I would take just about any time. Look, obviously, when you're giving up a run like that, calling a timeout is not a bad idea. But if you call a timeout in March, in this tournament, in the SEC tournament, and the run that they may be about to go on, you have to know damn well that the opposing coach is bringing fire too. I can't blame Nate Oates for wanting to trust his guys and wanting to let them play through it. I can't criticize that at all.
All right, what if Coach Oates is playing 4D chess?
What if he is?
4D chess in the sense of, the linchpin to this game plan just went out. We may or may not be winning a championship Sunday without Grant Nelson.
Don't give away anything.
We could stand to come back home and play in the first round. I wonder if Nate Oates was like, hey, guys, y'all can figure it out if you don't. If we win this, great. If y'all don't figure it out, I can yell at you and we can all get home and get some rest. I wonder if it was a 4D chess move like, if they dig themselves out of it, great, and we'll play Sunday. But if they don't, whatever.
You want to know another part of it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm absolutely positive that there's stuff that he has drawn up not involving Grant Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you give it away in the SEC tournament? Why would you let teams get that film? Like, it's just not worth it. It really isn't. You know, if hypothetically speaking, which knock on wood, but hypothetically speaking, they have to go on this run without Grant, you're going to need to bring out every last gun, everything that you have, and the less film teams have on you, the better.
All right, so I don't have much more on the SEC tournament.
Oh, yeah.
We can keep. I think that
my eyes are ahead to the big dance.
Right. Honest. So you lose on Saturday. Everybody stayed the night Saturday, thankfully, because of the weather. I hope you were all safe. Goodness gracious, I hope you were all safe with the weather over the weekend. And the guys are gone. like I said, I don't think it was a horrible tournament, but I don't think it was a great tournament. I'm not feeling as good about the Kentucky win as I was on Friday, but I'm not feeling as bad about the Florida loss as maybe you might think looking at the scoreboard. Last thing for us, I'll get your take on here, Theo. Do you think, am I biased? Is it my crimson colored glasses? Because my perspective is Grant stays healthy, plays, available for the 40 minutes. He's not going to play 40 minutes, but available for the 40 minutes. Alabama is at minimum in a 3-point game the rest of the way.
Yeah, I would, for the most part, agree. I think it's pretty likely that maybe Florida pulls ahead at the end, just like they did when they came to Tuscaloosa a few weeks ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree. It's, it's not, we're not going to roll over, allow 57 second half points the way we, oh my God, and you know what's crazy? For the first, for the first 12 minutes of that half, the defense wasn't even that horrible. They just
first
could
or
not
second
miss
half
of the second.
Okay.
I don't think it was that bad. I just think they were hitting their shots. And then as it continues, then you just saw the guys mentally check out, and then you saw things fully unravel. But for a little while, you just saw how good Florida was, where, okay, we're still bringing out some solid stuff, but they just can't miss.
All right, Theo, we got to put the Nashville experience to bed because no one cares about that anymore.
There's one thing people care about.
Absolutely. We're going to get into that right here after we tell you about Derek Daniel and State Farm. We're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm studios. We appreciate Derek for putting us on each and every day. He's been very busy this weekend with all the storm damage. Make sure you make him even busier at 205-758-3391. He's got a great team to help him manage all the busyness. Red Reese and Victoria are upstairs right now. They're taking your phone call, making your claims for all the damage that you experienced over the weekend. And if you're not happy with your insurance agent helping you with damage, call Derek Daniel and they will get you on the team. 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Like a neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. You need a local agent, especially for weekends like this. Derek has great connections in town. He's got all the repairmen right there on speed dial. He can get your claims taken care of and make sure that whatever damage you experience or anything that you might experience in the future, you're going to be prepared for. Well, my man, Derek Daniel, I know he was very busy this weekend. I just want to shout out all his great work because storm weekends are the weekends for insurance agents to fulfill their end of the bargain. And Derek was absolutely doing that. So call him at 205-758-3391. We're also going to thank our friends and sponsors, Warren Tire and Auto Center. They're at Tuscaloosa and University of Alabama staple. They've been such since 1961. You can call Russ Warren and their team right there on 15th Street for your tires, brakes, and alignment at 205-759-5505. If you need other automotive needs, they've got a second location on University Boulevard, 205-758-2739. Theo takes his car over there. All the students take their cars over to University Boulevard for their oil changes. They got, AC issues in Alabama. You take them over there to University Boulevard. You got electrical issues. They spilled some water on their radio. College kids, they take them over to University Boulevard, 205-758-2739. But when your kids need new tires, brakes, and alignment, they go to the 15th Street location at 205-759-5505. You can call both locations to set up your appointment. They've been at Tuscaloosa and University of Alabama staple since 1961. That is a lot older than I am. Goodness gracious. Reliable, reputable service. Warren Tire and Auto Center, proud sponsor of the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral. And we're very, very thankful that they are.
I'm about 500 miles from needing an oil change. I know where I'm going.
There you go. Warren Tire right there on University Boulevard. They'll get you in and out if you call and make an appointment today. Theo, let's make a confession before we get into the big dance. I have barely looked at this bracket.
Really?
I have barely looked at this bracket. We got home from Nashville, and I went to New Era Wrestling yesterday at Buddy Powell Pavilion. We'll talk about that tomorrow with Mason because Mason was with me. And we'll probably be having one of the superstars from the event about 45, 50 minutes into the program tomorrow because it was impressive. One of the young men did a moonsault, which is basically a backflip off the ring onto the floor. If you've been to Buddy Powell Pavilion, that floor is concrete. There was no padding yesterday. It was an exciting time. So that's where I was when the bracket was coming out, and I thought to myself, it's going to be better for the show if we look at this bracket kind of in the morning together, naked, just first look. And I've seen the South bracket and I've seen Alabama's East bracket just a little bit, but what you saw me clicking over here, like this bracket's naked. This bracket has not been touched. This is all first kind of essential essential thoughts. Where do you want to look first? Should we look at all the Alabama side? Do you want to tackle the 13 teams in the SEC as far as biases? Do you want to tackle North Carolina getting in? That's total that's total messed up. Hooey. Do you want to tackle Auburn and their draw? Great job, Greg Byrne. I love you so much. Well done, Greg Byrne. What do you want to start here with this draw? Because I'm going to keep looking at the bracket and just kind of let you open it up with your thoughts right here.
Well, I have looked at the
Or
bracket.
if you want to jump to your Duke take, that's fine too.
Okay, we can do that, and that ties into a couple other things. I've looked at this bracket a lot. Spent a ton of time on it. Something is going on with this committee. First of all, I'm sorry. I don't care if you're going to go on TV after the selection show and say, no, the UNCAD just happens to be on the board. But no, he had no role in it at all. There's no bias here. Come on. Are you serious? Are you serious? That record against quad one teams.
They think you're stupid.
Listen,
they think you're not smart.
Let's also pay attention to something. Do you guys remember Robbie Avila and Indiana State last year?
Oh, yeah.
Why did they miss the tournament? Do you remember? Do you remember why they were the first team out?
Gosh.
Because their record in quad one games was not good enough. This year, you have the opposite.
That's the young man with
situation.
Glasses, right?
Yeah. You have the opposite situation this year where Boise State had a solid resume. Indiana, West Virginia, and solid resumes. First of all, West Virginia got left out of the tournament because an injured player who hasn't played since December. That's absurd. UNC makes it in by the same logic they used to keep Indiana State out last year. Come on. Let's continue with the ACC bias real quick. Look, just about every year, at least one seed loses in the second round. That's generally a given. There are years where it doesn't happen, but it usually does, and it probably will this year. Look at these 8-9 matchups. First of all, UConn, Danny Hurley. Florida has to go up against UConn. Houston has to go up against Gonzaga, literally a school that's made the Sweet 16 like 9 years in a row. You have to go up against Mark Few in March. Auburn has to go up against a very solid Louisville team, a team that sent Duke to the wire.
In Lexington.
Yeah, they have to do it in Lexington. That too. That's absurd. The number one overall team has to play
one
of
Greg.
the greatest fan bases in the country in their home state.
Well done, Greg.
I'm sorry. I think Josh Hubbard's a really fun player.
They're
I think
not
Scott
a good team.
Drew's a good coach. Mississippi State and Baylor, that's the easiest 8-9 matchup. So Duke, oh no, Cooper Flagg might not be back in time. It's okay. You get to play Mississippi State. Come on. I can't believe that. There's something fishy going on here. Meanwhile, look at some of these SEC matchups. They saw what Auburn did. They saw what Puladikis went out and did to them and Yale. Oh, here, Texas A&M. This is your first round matchup.
Oh, Yale's getting Texas A&M.
Oh, I fully
Texas
think
A&M
so.
is not a good basketball team.
Look at Drake and Ben McCollum's squad, which if you don't know the story about Drake, this guy's a D2 coach. He's got a ton of D2 players leading the squad, and they're an 11 seed. They're amazing. They are just about a perfect fit to upset Missouri.
No, Missouri's a good team.
I think they're a good team, but I think Drake is a perfect and a very scary matchup. I just think a lot of these SEC teams got very, very unfavorable draws. It's almost like the committee wants, oh, you got 14 teams in the committee. Why are only 6 of them playing in the second round? Like, It seems like they're trying to set the SEC up for failure. That's all I'm gonna say. But I have a lot that I like on this bracket.
Okay, keep going. I'm not getting in your way. Unless you want me to chime in right here.
Where do you want to go? Like, do you want to talk trends or do you want to get into some picks?
Well, okay, I'll respond to you right here. I just have barely been clicking through some picks here, and yeah, I took Auburn to lose early. Yeah,
Really?
I took Ole Miss to lose early. Who else? Let's just look at these SEC games. I took Auburn. You're out to Louisville. I took A&M out in the first round. I took Ole Miss out to Iowa State. Keep on going down. I'm gonna take Florida all the way probably. UConn beating Oklahoma. I got Missouri. I got Missouri stalled with Texas Tech. I haven't made it further than that in the second round. I got Arkansas losing to Kansas in the first round.
That game's a toss-up. It's two underwhelming teams.
Ryland Griffin's gonna rise above. We'll see. I almost took Troy to beat Kentucky in the first round, but I've got Illinois beating Kentucky. Keep on going. I got Georgia losing in the first round. I haven't touched the Alabama bracket yet. Vanderbilt is going to be 50-50 with St. Mary's. You keep on going. And I got Mississippi State losing in the first round. So, like, yeah, bad results largely for the historically best conference to ever exist ever in the history of a time. Blah! I don't think I'm with you there. I think the SEC, right now, your narrative is, oh, look how strong they are. And at the end of the tournament, they're going to say, oh, you got one team in the Final Four.
Yeah. You know, that's very likely.
And two Elite Eight teams, maybe.
I just want to address one thing.
Keep going.
I really love the job that Pat Kelsey's done. I think the culture change there is insane. I think it's so scary for Auburn that you have to go and play them in Lexington. I think they'll find a way to get out of that. I think Broom is I think he's so special. I think he won't miss 3 layups and 2 free throws down the stretch like he did against Tennessee. Because that was come on, SEC Player of the Year. You can't be ending a game like that. I think Auburn finds a way to the Elite Eight. But, I mean, you guys know how the calendar goes, right? January, February, Izzo, April. I think Michigan State is going to knock Auburn off in the Elite Eight.
Hold on one second. Keep going.
But, I mean, come on. Auburn's not going to go out that early. I would be really surprised. Oh, are we going to have some Tom Izzo slander here?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Are we really going to do this?
Because here we go. Lost in the second round. Lost in the regional semifinal. That's a Elite Eight, right? Regional semifinal. No, regional semifinal, Sweet 16. Yeah. Second round. First 4. Lost in the first 4. Didn't make the tournament. National semifinal. There you go. Final 4 in 2019. Great.
And that 2019
second round. First round. Okay, we're back in the Final 4 in 15.
That's 2 Final Fours in a decade. What more do you want? One of those was as a 7 seed. He took him as a 7 seed to the Final 4.
Where's Mateen Cleaves? That's the last time that I loved you, Michigan State. Mateen Cleaves is in 2002, right?
You have those Cassius Winston teams were so special. That game,
won it.
That Elite Eight game against Duke is one of the best March Madness games I've ever seen. That 2019 matchup, that was special. Tom Izzo is a Hall of Fame coach. He is an amazing coach who hasn't had a ton of amazing talent. He hasn't had a ton of amazing teams. This is one of them, and this is one that I fully expect him to
haven't had a ton of amazing teams. I'm looking at one seed.
You're back. You're 20 years. You're 25 years ago.
That's 4 different 1 seeds. I'm looking at 2 seed.
I'm looking at 2 seed. Okay.
I'm looking at 3 different 2 seeds that he's had.
2016.
This one being the fourth 2 seed that he's had. So he's had 4 2s. He's had 4 4s. He's had how many? 1, 2. He's had 2 3s. He's had great teams.
We are not slandering Tom Izzo's legacy. He had one of the worst coaching performances ever in 2016 against Middle Tennessee, letting Giddy Potts just go in and do whatever he wanted to their team. That was bad. That upset was bad. Outside of that, you'll be hard pressed to find me say anything. Let's remember, they were a 2 seed. They ran into Marquise Noel in Kansas State. That was just one of the craziest, most incredible tournament runs I've seen. I can't even be mad about him for losing that game. Look, I can't hate on this Michigan State program. I think they will go to the Final Four, and I feel very good about that. And I see on your bracket, I love Shaka Smart as a coach. He's the reverse Tom Izzo. He underperforms in March. And if you look, Joe on his bracket right now, he's Marquette winning that game over Michigan State. I would love to see Shaka lead his team on an actual deep run. It's not going to happen this year. It will not happen this year.
Right now, I'm just clicking off vibes, so we'll just say that. But you're right. You're right. Now that I'm thinking about that,
That's real.
So we go in Michigan's Iowa State gets them probably Iowa State over Michigan State. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
I think Michigan State to the Final Four. Are you going to Iowa State or Louisville? Or?
Michigan Yale is what I've got over right now. I guess I'll probably take Michigan.
Michigan has a very easy path to the second weekend, if we're being honest.
Yeah, so this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to invite you to play along with us. You can find our social medias at Joe Gaither 6, at Theo Fernandez _, at Mason, at M.A. Woods _. You can find it at BamaCentral. All the links are all everywhere. Join the show challenge. Looks like, what's the groups? How many people? Yeah, I know the bracket's not done. I'll go back to it. My group right now has how many people?
There are a lot in there.
God, ESPN, you're like the best and the worst at the same time.
We have, let's see how many we have. We have a lot.
22 so far. 22 so far. 22 submissions, and we need 22 more. Will we do cash prize for it? Venmo prize for it? What's the way we need to do this? Because I wanted to do $1 per entrant, but then I thought, man, if I get 1,000 entrants, I'm not going to be feeling good about fronting $1,000 prize. I'm feeling good about $100 prize. I'm feeling good about a $200 prize. What's the best way we need to
25 cents per entrant.
25 cents an entrant.
Okay, think about it this way, guys. Anyone watching, I'm going to break this down for you. You join this thing. You send it to 10 friends. You just added $2, or you just added, I can't even do math. Wow. You just added $4 to the pot. Each of those friends, they send it out. Everyone just keeps sending. We are going to find a way to ruin Joe Gaither's financial future.
No!
We are going to find a way to financially bankrupt this man. I don't care how low he sets the cash prize. We're going to find a way to do it. I'm motivated.
You're going to hurt me, Theo. You're going to hurt me.
We're going to find a way because this bracket challenge is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be something special. And I'm mostly doing it because I know my bracket's going to win the cash prize anyway. So I need you guys to join up because I could use a little paycheck right now.
There we go. Theo, free intern, needs to get paid. So join the bracket challenge. Is that what it's going to do? 25 cents an entrant? That sounds about right. What's 25 cents an entrant? We got 22 entrants. So that's easy math. 22 times 0.25 is $5 in the pot. We can do a lot better than that. I can easily do $5.
Are you setting that in stone? 25 cents?
Oh, it seems like okay. So let's get 100 entrants. 100 entrants at 25. That's still not that bad.
That's $25.
That's $25. That's perfect. Like yes, that seems very reasonable. That's because we'll see. You get 1,000. What's that? 250?
Yeah.
I don't believe you guys will get 1,000 entrants.
Are we proving them wrong, audience? You guys,
I don't believe you guys.
We're gonna make this happen.
I think that's fair. 25 cents an entrant. Yeah. That seems about fair. I've got my Venmo tag. I have all your phone numbers and all your contacts machines. If you join the challenge, I can look up your email and make sure that you get paid. That sort of thing. Yeah, that seems about right. 25 cents an entrant. That seems about right. Oh yeah. I'm getting lost here. We are live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. We're talking March Madness. We are talking Alabama baseball beating the brakes off of everyone and being very impressive. We're talking Grant Nelson's health. Let's go there.
Okay.
Grant Nelson.
He's seeing a knee specialist today.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
It doesn't.
What's your feel on Alabama with and without Grant Nelson? Let's go there.
I think. Look, honestly,
Robert Morris, not an easy 15 seed. What? Come on. Great. Great. You're supposed to. We let North Carolina in. North Carolina gives us the easiest 15 seed. That's the trade, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, I would much rather be playing at school like Wofford. A 6 seed out of the SoCon, that sounds a lot more enticing than Robert Morris. But at the end of the day,
it is what it is.
I'm not going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. I am not going to say anything about this matchup just because, look, at the end of the day,
afraid.
Yeah, a tiny bit. I mean, you can praise a lot of stuff about Alabama basketball. Consistency is not one of them.
Fair.
I mean, let's be real.
Fair.
We have a lot of those similar elements that a lot of those teams that get upset do. A lot of injuries, a lot of inconsistent play, a star player who is occasionally prone to off nights. We're in dangerous territory. This is like when someone has a no-hitter in the 6th inning and you don't want to say anything, and it's in dangerous territory. And let's talk about the Grant Nelson thing. Let's just get back to safe ground. The fact of the matter is if this team goes on a deep run, Grant Nelson needs to be part of it.
100%.
I mean, you guys saw last year, there is no run without Grant Nelson. We get pretty easily defeated in the Sweet 16 without Grant Nelson. I'm not super scared about the prospect of Vanderbilt or St. Mary's in the second round.
Agreed.
At all. And it's weird because you almost never see conference teams play in the round of 32. In fact, the only way it's possible is if the teams have only played once during the season. So I feel okay about Vanderbilt. I feel okay about St. Mary's. And I just treaded dangerously on the 15 seeds. Now we're going to kind of throw caution to the wind a little bit. I love the Sweet 16 matchup. I love any of those potential teams. Wisconsin, the team who shot 25% in the Big Ten championship and lost, that's awesome. I don't even think they'll be there. I think we're going to be playing Ryan Odom's VCU team in the Sweet 16. I mean, look, I'm an A10 truther. I grew up going to A10 basketball tournament every March growing up with my father and brother. So I know that VCU's had some great teams, and I think this is one of them. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people going a little run. Quite frankly, if there is one region where I had to bet money on the Elite Eight matchup, it would be this one, and I would bet my money on Alabama-Duke. I just think that this is top to bottom the weakest region out there. Oregon's a 5 seed largely because of their win over us. This was basically a 500 team in Big Ten play. I think they get upset by Liberty.
Liberty.
I think Caleb Love is Caleb Love in his like 5th, 6th, 7th year of college basketball it's really only his 5th year. I don't know why people are acting like he's 27, but I think he's going to go on a little run in the Sweet 16, but Duke has Arizona pretty easily. I think Alabama-Duke Elite Eight is, I can't be saying this, but as
you can say
close to a sure thing as you're going to find in March.
Theo's bracket's definitely getting busted by Mississippi State.
Oh, my God.
The Bulldogs, Trish Jans, and them dogs.
I'm just setting myself up for so many
No.
You're
doing great. You're doing great. I am appreciating your expertise. You're good. Catch your breath. It's all good. I'm appreciating your expertise. I'm excited about this. So your VCU take is echoed by our friend Hunter DeCyver, lead basketball writer for BamaCentral.com, where we are in the evening time last night at the house. And Hunter says, yeah, I think I'm taking VCU to upset the Crimson Tide. And I said, wow. Oh, in my heart. So
Ryan Odom knows how to pull an upset. You guys know that very, very well at this point. He can do it. I don't know if the team's good enough.
Really respecting these 3 teams in our pod, though. These 3 teams
either.
in our Cleveland pod. Cleveland, not the best destination, but really not really challenging. You're gonna wake up on Friday. Really, the first or second game on Friday. I think they always start at 11:15, right? And then so that we're at 11:40. So we're the second or third game of the day on Friday, which to me is perfect because you're going to get all the Thursday excitement. We're going to have the first round, upsets galore, and then, baby, it's lock-in time. Wake up on Friday. You're going to find out your fate. Are we moving on to Sunday or not? I expect so, but Grant's injury, that's kind of what set this lane of the conversation off. Grant goes down on Saturday, doesn't come back in the game. You're getting the report after the game. Coach Oates says, I don't think it's ACL, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, we got to figure it out. John Rothstein, he's seeing a knee specialist today.
I think he'll be good. I really do. I think they're talking about it as a 4 to 5 day thing. That's the expectation. It's Monday, 4 days from now. Bring us to Friday.
What about Darian Reed? Okay, because like the entire all of these injuries are tied together. It's like, oh, if you don't play Grant, who are you turning to?
Right.
If you play Grant, you are.
I think we're going to play Grant, and I think there's a very good shot we don't see Darian Reed
until Sunday.
Friday. I think we'll see Darian Reed in some capacity on Sunday. I also wouldn't be surprised if things are kind of on the fence, and I could see a world where we don't see him until potentially the second weekend.
That really disappointed me this week. We saw him against Kentucky, and then he played for like a minute and a half against Florida the next day and came back out. And he and Grant sat next to each other. Grant put his arm around him, and I thought, yep, they ain't going. Neither of those guys are going back in the game today.
Yeah. I'm okay with no Darian Reed until the Sweet 16 because I would much rather have 90% of Darian Reed in the second weekend versus 75% of Darian Reed, and then it's still lingering and he doesn't fully heal up at any point. I would rather just use our 9-man, 8-man rotation right now to get through this first weekend, and then we have him because we're going to need him at some point. I fully think so. Save it for when we do.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. It starts on Wednesday?
Well, tomorrow,
first four.
Alabama State playing.
Okay, real quick. The first four was started in what, 2012, 2014. So my question to you is, there's a small age gap right between us, right?
Yeah.
About whatever years, it doesn't matter. The first four to me, I'm asking for your perspective versus my perspective, because the first four to me is not the NCAA tournament. It never has been and never will be. If you go to Dayton, you're in the play-in rounds, and yes, you're in one of the 68, but you're not in the field of 64. And so, like, for me, growing up, first few tournaments are 98, 99 range, 97 range. Kentucky wins it, Big Blue Nation. No, we're going to implement the first four for Tuesday night and stick that bleep on True TV. You don't even know where it is on your cable. The only time you ever watch True TV every year. The only reason you have an expanded cable package is for True TV.
Have you guys seen the internet search trends for where every year what channel is True TV on? It's straight up in March.
Yes, it's the only reason I have the expanded cable package.
Hey, and Practical Jokers is a great show, though, so that's a second reason to have it.
Oh, so the question is, my perspective is that it's not the NCAA tournament. The younger man's perspective is what?
So, first of all, my father fully agrees with you. He's echoed that take numerous times.
You can go for it.
For me, it's been a thing for as long as I've watched the tournament. So really, yeah, it's the tournament to me. And with that being said, I don't block out my schedule to, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch Xavier Texas.
Heck no.
Like if if I'm free and I'm not doing anything, yeah, I'll watch that game. But
I got plenty of basketball ahead.
So much better. Yeah, exactly. And let's be real, Xavier in Texas is it's not much of a matchup there. It doesn't stand out in many ways. Think about that. It's worse than the average SEC matchup by a lot, right?
Very much. Very worse.
Xavier would finish, 15th in the SEC? Yeah.
Not good. Not good. So I'm not watching. I will watch them.
I'll watch it, but I'm not. It's not a necessity to me.
It'll start at like 5:50 or so in the afternoon.
Because they always play the 16 seeds first.
Yeah.
Those games are honestly the most
what
fun
I will
part.
say You should never send an automatic qualifier to the first four NCAA tournament. Or did they this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should not. The 16s, right? These Alabama States, right? You should not send, like, these guys made the tournament.
You're missing the point, though, when you say that. You get $2 million per round you play in.
Oh, is it so that they can double up?
They're
right
going to
there?
double up money. It also, I believe that's the case, at least.
Okay, all
I
right.
could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But at the end of the day,
I could be wrong. I'm just going to say it on the air.
I believe that. But there's a second, even bigger
I'm
case.
just teasing you, bud.
If you're Alabama State, do you really want people's only memory of you to be going and losing by 35 to Auburn?
They're not losing to Auburn. They're going to be the third team to do it, bro.
That would be incredible.
Go.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Twitter would burn down.
Can you imagine the whole city of Montgomery too? Like, oh my goodness.
Those trees in Auburn would not survive that.
But-
Bruce Pearl would. Oh god, that would be a story.
Case in point, I have a friend who goes to Wagner College. It's in Staten Island. He's a place kicker there. Plays football.
There we go.
Wagner last year.
Through the uprights.
They made the first four. They won their conference. They won the NEC conference. They made the first four. They went out and they got their first ever tournament win. They got to have their moment on a Tuesday, Wednesday night. Tell you what, it was a lot more enjoyable for those students than the experience of going out and just getting killed in that round of 64.
Okay. All right. Fair.
I was about to give you the take that I think there should be 4 16 seed matchups in the first four.
Ooh, okay.
I think all of these teams should have the opportunity to play another team of their caliber to get that TV game. I really think that makes a lot of sense. It would be cool for these schools. They deserve this matchup.
I think these two perspectives are rooted in the perspective of, is the first four a part of the NCAA tournament or not? You think you've grown up that it is. So
Yeah.
absolutely, with that being the background, your take makes perfect sense that the 16 should play each other.
By the way, I'm fully against any kind of tournament expansion except this. Don't even. I could yell into the screen for 40 minutes about how idiotic it would be to expand the tournament. So we're not even going to open that can of worms.
We're in agreement.
But let 2 more 16 seeds in, so you have 2 extra bids. And that way you get 4 16 seed matchups.
Or we just don't put Xavier and Texas in.
Yeah, right.
You don't put North Carolina in.
You don't need it. Indiana and West Virginia absolutely deserve spots, though. I've reversed course on that. I think it's a thing that should happen.
North Carolina, raise up.
You know what's funny?
What's funny?
We've spent more time talking about the first four than most people are going to spend watching it.
That's true. That's true. All right, Theo, I'm not going to see you for a week.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave you with the last word here, brother. Anything you want to get off your chest? Any takes you got? I know you got some NBA, maybe not.
I
probably not.
I need to get a few things off my chest. I need to get some takes.
We'll see you next week. So here's your 2 minutes with Theo.
All right. The Midwest region is going to be absolute chaos. I feel so bad for Sampson's team down in Houston because that's a great NCAA tournament program. They always are tough out. They have an amazing squad this year. Gonzaga, come on. I feel so bad that they have to go up against Mark Few. Gonzaga is going to run not past Houston. They're going to run all the way to the Final Four.
Oh!
We will see Gonzaga in the Final Four, and their road there is going to be amazing.
Go Dogs!
The Sweet 16, they're going to play McNeese State. Look.
The Fighting Will Wades.
The Fighting Will Wades. Everyone talks about that team as like a sleeper, like a team that could go on a run. And they had to match up against Gonzaga in the first round last year, and that's why they got blown out by 30. It was not because they were weak Cinderella. It's because Gonzaga is just an insane tournament program. This year that they get to play an Clemson team, they're going to win that. And they're probably going to beat High Point in the second round because, look, you lost your 7-4 Zach Edey, and now Purdue is right back to Purdue. Purdue, remember, Do you guys remember their last 3 tournament exits before last year?
Lost 16-1 in 2023, right?
They lost to the 16 seed, right?
Oh.
Do you remember what happened the year before that?
Second round exit, right?
It was a Sweet 16 exit, but do you remember who it was to?
Somebody bad.
St. Peter's. So they lost to a 16, they lost to a 15 the year before, and the year before that they lost to a 13. They're going to lose to a 12 or 13.
How did Alabama go up there and lose? Continue.
They're
Don't take that bait.
They're a regular season school, exactly. So, yeah, Purdue is going to disappoint. Gonzaga probably beats Tennessee to get to the Final Four. And then the final thing that I need to say, the final take I need to give, Red Storm Rising, Rick Pitino, New York is going to be on fire. St. John's is going to go all the way to the national championship game.
And I don't hate it. Keep going.
They might damn well win it. As of right now, my official take has got to be Alabama over St. John's.
Oh,
At the end of the day, I believe in this team. I've seen how they've responded. I like their region a lot. I think that Grant Nelson Cooper flag has the potential to be the most fun, one of the most fun one-on-one.
It is
Elite
White
Eight
Boy
matchups.
2025.
It is. It's going to set us up for a very great white boy summer. It's going to be the precursor to that. We need that matchup. Man, look, Grant Nelson is a legend when it comes to March. Look at the highlights he already has since the calendar flip.
If he doesn't get hurt, hold on. If he does not get hurt in this game and Alabama wins, the two-handed dunk he has in the first half lives forever. I mean, it's still going to – I'm sitting there on the sidelines, and I just jaw-dropped. Grant, if I could watch you play the thing I love most about Grant is full send anytime. Full send. We talked about you weren't with us the Auburn game in Coleman where he jumped from just inside the 3-point line and he tried to yam it from miles away. Dude, that two-hander on Condon's head or Chinny Lou's head, whoever it was.
Condon, yeah.
I was just Grant with the hammer. Did you I felt good about my tweet. Grant Nelson, 2 hands from high heaven with the hammer.
That's a great tweet.
I was just like, oh.
Between the dunk.
Going. I interrupted. Keep going.
No, but seriously though, between his UNC performance, between his dunk on Donovan Clingan in the Final Four, and between the Crimson Crane on the National Player of the Year on his senior night. Look, for somebody that we view so negatively, or not, kind of negatively right now, kind of where like a lot of the fan base is a little like agitated.
We do? Okay, keep going.
I think we do. I think there are a lot of things. His legacy, he's gonna age so well because he has so many signature moments to the point where, we'll look back in 30 years and we'll forget the 3 for 10 shooting performance, on a random December night where it's like, it makes you want to rip your hair. Like, why is this guy so inconsistent? We're going to remember that dunk. We're going to remember that Crimson Crane. And I think he'll give us a few more memories as long as he can stay healthy than this run.
I love it. Hit me with your Final Four. You had Alabama over St. John's.
I have Alabama over Gonzaga.
Oh, excuse me.
And then I have St. John's over Michigan State. That's right. 0-1 seeds in the Final Four.
I love it. I love the cojones that Theo has right there. And so you can participate against Theo Fernandez by joining the Joe Gaither Show Bracket Challenge. Theo Fernandez said 25 cents an entrant. I will pay for the winner. So it's free for you. The winner we will collect the pot based on the entrance. So right now I think our pot's up to about $5. So if you want to win $5, you can join the show. You want to win a little more money? You send it to a friend and invite them into the program.
You post this on your public Instagram story. Right. You tweet this out. You blow this thing up.
I'm gonna be bankrupt before the end of the weekend. All right, so we got to go find some more money. Oh, so we're done with the day. Theo, dude, guess what today is? It's Monday. Monday Night Raw is in Europe, which now that they're on Netflix, guess what that means for Joe?
What does that mean?
Monday Night Raw at 2:00 in the afternoon. So I'm going home to get ready for John Cena and Cody Rhodes on my television way earlier than normally scheduled. So if you're a wrestling guy or girl, be aware, stay off your social medias. The program starts at 2:00 in the afternoon today because the company is over in Europe giving the other side of the world a taste of joy. Let's get out of here, Theo. Follow Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez _. We will be back with Mason Woods tomorrow. I am 95% sure we're going to have some folks from New Era Wrestling join us at the second half of the program tomorrow. We'll get Mason's takes on the SEC tournament, the NCAA tournament, all that, Joyce. Oh, my gosh. We're talking to Kalen DeBoer again tomorrow. Oh, Coach DeBoer again tomorrow. So spring practice is right back on. We went away from it a lot last week for basketball. We got to start remixing spring practice in as 8A is coming soon.
Whatever 8A is in the year 2025.
8A is going to be you and me calling plays. Keelan Russell fly route down to Caleb Cunningham, not Caleb Cunningham, Derek Meadows. Goodness gracious,
I love Derek. I'm so excited for Derek Meadows. I can talk about his potential.
You should have slapped me when I said Caleb Cunningham. He's over at Ole Miss.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens with Keelan Russell, Derek Meadows, Ty Simpson,
Ryan Grubb's
Williams.
Offense. Ryan Grubb's offense, man. He was a fun press conference last week.
Okay, so there you go. Here's your assignments for the week. NCAA tournament next week, first and second rounds for Theo. NBA, Alabama in the NBA. Dax has been asking you for it.
I will have it.
Tell Dax that you'll have it for him.
Dax, look, I kind of wasn't sure that Joe was a little serious about that. I didn't actually think it was something that we wanted. Now that I know,
I want 5 minutes.
You ask and I'll provide.
I want 3 to 5 minutes of X players doing this last week. Y player did this. Just a rundown.
I will break down Alex Reese film live on the podcast.
We don't need to go that deep.
Yeah, we were going to break down his 6.3 steal performance against the Orlando Magic from last Wednesday.
Exactly. So next week we're gonna do first and second round with Theo. We're gonna do a 3-minute Bama in the NBA, and then we will get into spring practice some more. So Theo, tell everybody goodbye. Tell them we're in the Derek Daniels Studios, and we'll see them next week.
Bye, everyone. Derek Daniels Studio. You heard it from Joe. It's March, and I cannot be more excited. It's going to be a really fun week. I'm so ready to talk about it next Monday. Y'all have a great afternoon.